For my final project, I chose to do Whistler. The first unit that I'll be covering and relating to Whistler is the essentials of geography. Within this unit, I'll talk about the 5 themes of geography, as well as Whistler's vegetation, wildlife, weather, and industry. First up is the 5 themes of geography: location, region, human environment impact, place or characteristics, and movement. Whistler is located in the southern part of the Pacific Ranges, on the northwest edge of Garibaldi Provincial Park. The region is part of the Fitzsimmons Range of the Coast Mountains in BC. One prime example of the human environment impact is the construction of the world-renowned Whistler Blackcomb Ski Resort that was constructed on the neighboring mountains of Whistler and Blackcomb, along with the major tourist attraction Whistler Village, which has been built at the base of Whistler Mountain. Some characteristics of the place is that it is flanked by glaciated mountains on both sides, and temperatures are moderate through the winter due to coastal proximity. As for movement, the region sits on metamorphic rocks which were formed by glacial processes between 1 and 200 million years ago. When it comes to vegetation, Whistler has many varieties of trees, such as pine, cedar, hemlock, and evergreen, and a multitude of smaller plants, including lichens, mosses, and wildflowers, depending on the season. Whistler also has plenty of wildlife, including cougars, deers, marmots, pika, hares, squirrels, chipmunks, otters, beavers, and more. With that said, the area is most known for their bears. It has both black and grizzly bears, and bear sightings are very common, even in Whistler Village itself. Whistler receives a wide range of weather throughout the year. The temperature is moderate, but the summers do get quite warm. The area also receives a lot of precipitation, with the higher elevations getting a lot of snow. The snowiest months are December and January. Next, I'll talk about Whistler's main industry: tourism. Tourism is the most significant industry because skiing and snowboarding attract a tremendous amount of both local and international tourists during the ski season. When the spring rolls around and the weather begins to warm up, the ski trails are used for mountain biking. During the summer months, mountain biking also brings a massive amount of tourism into the Whistler area. Having the world-class ski resort allowed Whistler to partner up with Vancouver to host the 2010 Winter Olympic Games. Some of the events that Whistler hosted include alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, biathlon, Olympic Nordique, ski jump, bobsled, luge, and skeleton. The second unit is Earth Structures and Spheres, and this unit will contain Whistler's biome, climate, topography, mountain formation, and plate tectonics. First, I'll identify Whistler's biome. Since Whistler is located along the coast of BC, it is technically part of the temperate rainforest biome. A temperate rainforest is classified as a biome with moderate temperatures that receives more than 300 centimeters of rain per year. Next up is Whistler's climate. Whistler has a humid continental climate, which means cold, wet winters and drier, warm summers. In an average year, Whistler receives approximately 11 days with temperatures over 30 degrees and about 24 days with temperatures falling below -10 degrees Celsius. Now for topography. Whistler Village sits at an elevation of 675 meters above sea level. Whistler Mountain's peak has an elevation of 2,182 meters above sea level, while Blackcomb's peak sits at 2,436 meters. Now I want to talk about mountain formation and how Whistler Mountain itself was formed. Much of the rock on Whistler Mountain was formed in an oceanic basin during the early Cretaceous period, which was about 100 million years ago. This rock consists generally of shale, volcanic rock, and andesite, which make up the majority of Whistler's 2 major mountains, being Whistler and Blackcomb. In order to wrap up Unit 2, I'm going to go into the plate tectonics in the Whistler area. Both Whistler and Blackcomb were shaped by pressure created at a convergent plate boundary. This boundary is where the continental North American plate and oceanic Pacific plate meet each other. The third and final unit that I will be covering is the forces that shape the land. In this unit, I'll talk about Whistler's glacial processes, volcanic activity, erosion, and avalanche activity, and the effect that they had on Whistler. The first topic for this unit is going to be glacial processes. Whistler is surrounded by various lakes, including Green, Alta, Nina, and Alpha lakes, and all of these lakes were formed when ancient rivers carved out drainage patterns following the path of least resistance. Glaciers also plowed through sediment, creating several U-shaped valleys and also affecting the shapes of Whistler's mountains and lakes that exist today. Believe it or not, Whistler has also been greatly impacted by volcanic activity. Around 10,000 years ago, Clinker Peak, which sits just north of Mount Garibaldi, erupted, sending out scorching lava flows. This lava played a role in the melting of glaciers and also carved out paths that have become rivers today. The glacial processes and the volcanic activity have each played a key role in the formation of Whistler's several stunning lakes that exist today and are enjoyed by tourists year-round. With that said, it was erosion that played a large role in shaping Whistler and Blackcomb Mountain to the way that they sit today. Cretaceous rivers eroded away at rock and sent sediment down the mountain and into former oceans thousands of years ago. This erosion carved out many paths that are used as ski runs today. The last topic in our third and final unit is avalanche activity. Although it has been a while since a major avalanche occurred in Whistler, small-scale avalanches do occur from time to time. In 2020, 2 separate avalanches on Whistler Mountain caused 2 deaths and several injuries. Experts do say that these avalanche conditions are very uncommon for the area, but it still does happen from time to time, and skiers must be careful. Now, in order to bring it all together, I will share my personal story of Whistler, as well as preview my 3D model. From a very young age, Whistler has been a second home to me, so I was thrilled to be able to do my project on Whistler. My family and I have made it tradition to spend a couple of nights in Whistler every year, and we have done so since I was born. Since nobody in my family is huge on skiing, our annual trip usually occurs during the summer months when my sister and I are out of school. For this reason, I chose to make my model of Whistler Mountain in the summer as opposed to the winter. Although I have not visited Whistler in the winter for a handful of years now, I did have the opportunity to go one time when I was in grade 6. I was lucky enough to be able to take a ski lesson on the mountain, and the instructor was a former Olympian skier and a Whistler native. More recently, my family and I tried out the peak-to-peak gondola that goes from the top of Whistler Mountain to the top of Blackcomb. It is the longest unsupported span between 2 cable towers in the world and stretches farther than 3 kilometers. Whether I was skiing in the winter or riding the gondola in the summer, I have always found the view from the top of Whistler Mountain to be dazzling. Correspondingly, whenever I am in the village and look up at the mountain, the view is just as enjoyable. Whistler Mountain is ravishing, and I am so glad that I have had the opportunity to recreate it myself. No matter if I am hiking, cycling, playing mini golf, or just lounging next to the pool at the hotel, I have thoroughly enjoyed every moment that I have spent in Whistler. With both friends and family, I have made countless memories there and cannot wait to continue making more in the future. For all of these reasons, Whistler was the perfect location for me to do my final project on, and I am very happy with the way it has turned out. Finally, here are a few shots of the 3D model that I created. I even added a little model of the Olympic rings and an Inukshuk, just to make it extra clear that it is in fact Whistler.